It's me, Bree McGee. Welcome to my little corner of the world. Now, when I first entered adulthood and I left home, I had a rather irrational fear of being on my own, or rather of ending up on my own. And I lived in several different places with lots of different types of people. But fast forward to about a decade ago, and that is when I decided to choose a life of solitude and aloneness. I'd been through lots of different experiences and some of them weren't very good. And so making that choice to spend all of my spare time by myself was a choice that I made quite easily, and I welcomed it when it started. Of course, I've had lots of offers of relationships and things since then, but I've turned them down because I value my solitude that much. People say to me, "Don't you get lonely?" No. They say, "Don't you wish you could have your evening meal with someone every day?" No. And don't you get fed up? No, I don't, no. And they say, "Don't you get bored?" Absolutely not. Just on our telephones alone we have a wealth of information and things to look at and do. But even away from our devices, there's so many things we can spend our time on. Reading and writing and creating art and writing music, poetry, doing something with our hands like sewing, knitting, that kind of thing, or just anything that we enjoy. Keeping a house clean and tidy. There's so many things I can't even remember them all to list. But no, getting bored is not something I ever experience, and I don't think people should experience because there is so much to do, especially on our telephones. But I guess it boils down to whether someone can enjoy their own company. Well, I can, and I've learned to do that over the years. Spending all of my spare time alone in a state of solitude has taught me a lot about myself, and it's also enabled me to really enjoy things like calmness and peacefulness, the ability to do what I want when I want, not to have to consider another person or other people, to be able to make my own decisions about how I spend my day or how I spend the time I've got spare. And it's become very, very enjoyable. So I know it's not for everyone, and I do know people who have told me I could never do that, I couldn't spend all of my time on my own. And that's fair enough, we're all different, aren't we? What is good for me and helps me might be the absolute opposite for someone else. But this space I've made for myself, I've made it as tech-free as possible. My mobile telephone is about as technical as I get, and I've made it into more of like an oasis of calm, peacefulness, and I really, really value that. So is being alone and having a life of solitude something you could do? Let me know in the comments. So let me just say thank you for listening, and from my little corner of the world to yours, goodbye. Bye-bye.